There you are. Thanks for joining me today, Greg. I am Lynn Godfrey. I am the recruiting director for American Senior Benefits, and I am here today joined with Greg Gelineau. Fantastic to have you here today.
Thanks,
Greg,
Lynn.
thanks.
Awesome. Great to be here, and glad we can do this, spend a few minutes together, and hopefully, go over some things on a very important topic that can hopefully help some of our managers and leaders within the company.
Awesome. I know you have vast experience in your life here with recruiting. Can you just give us a little overview on everything you've done?
Yeah, so I knew we were going to talk, so I jotted down just a couple things. But one of the things, um, you know, that for me makes this an important subject is I've been involved in recruiting in this industry for 37 years. It's always been part of whatever role I've been in agency building, and I brought probably well over 1,000 people into the business, either into it or through career change or whatever, whether they're agents, managers, whatever it was. So, in fact, as recently as this week. So it's something that, I'm passionate about. It's something that is crucial and needed. And it's a skill that all of our leaders and agency builders need to have if they want to be able to experience, growth within our industry.
Gotcha. So 1,000 people, and I heard passionate and crucial. So have you always been in your agencies very involved, hands-on with recruiting?
Absolutely. I think as an agency leader, you really, if you look at it this way, I think to an agency leader, recruiting is the oxygen. It's kind of like oxygen for a human being. You need to have it. Well, in an agency, you need to have recruiting. And, if you stop bringing in new talent, and you'll see and you'll watch what happens very quickly within an agency, and it's not pretty. If you want to actually grow or even maintain the status quo in an agency, especially these days, you have to look at it from there's two things that will always negatively affect any agency that's stagnant and that's not growing and doesn't have good recruiting systems in place. And that's really retention and renewals. And so when you look at retention and renewals, those things can work against the growth of an agency, especially in first year premium. So if you don't grow your agent count, you'll be experiencing a backwards trend soon enough. It's just a matter of time.
Wow. So you clearly had systems and drivers in place all along the way. And I know that I didn't talk about this ahead of time, but I know that you know what it was in your agency that was super important for you to just be watching to keep your finger on the pulse of recruiting. Can you share any of those?
Yeah, recruiting there's 7 drivers to agency management or agency leadership, and recruiting is number one. It's number one for a reason. And it's something that you need to invest the time, the money, the energy, the effort, the manpower into if you want it to be successful. That's most important. So this is the one area that you can't skimp on. And I would say this as well. One of the things that's important is you need to put the most important people into this area of working this driver. So one of the things I see a lot of leaders invest a lot financially into recruiting and then delegate it out to people who maybe don't have the experience, knowledge, to do the job. When this is the one of the most significant things you'll do as a leader is bring on new talent. It's important that you inspect what you expect. So if you're going to put money into this, you're going to put time and energy. I think the most talented people in the organization should be doing the recruiting. And if you need to delegate it because I hate to say it, but you're beyond that, then make sure that you actually delegate it to people who can actually interview you as the leader and could hire you or contract you. Because if they know your value proposition, they're as good face to face with any potential candidate that they're going to meet with. In other words, they need to be as skilled and as talented and hopefully as successful as any person will ever sit in front of to interview. Because that's how you're going to win when it comes to bringing in the best talent.
Right.
And I think that it's really important that you inspect that. And so one of the best ways is make your person that's going to be involved in that interview you. If they can hire you, they can hire anybody. So that's a good starting point. And I think it's important to track it, to make sure that you're monitoring that. Along with that, I think it's important as well to never turn off recruiting. It's funny. I'll give you an example. Some people are stop and go with recruiting. And, if this is oxygen, imagine, I'll give you an example. AEP is coming up. Some managers in our industry actually stop recruiting during AEP. And I want to tell you why I think that's a bad idea. So if AEP, really, you're going to basically stop a few weeks prior. So, because you don't want to bring anybody on during that period for whatever reason. And so really you're saying, I'm going to give up the last 3 months of the year and I'm going to shut off completely recruiting, right? Then I'm going to turn it back on like a snap of the fingers in January. I get the flywheel going again, right? It's going to take at least another month to get new people in, get them, maybe they have to get licensed, get them contracted, get them out to be able to start being productive. So really what you're saying is there's 4 months of the year, or a third of the year, you're going to 100% shut off all of your number one driver and the oxygen to building your agency. Imagine breathing for only 40 out of every 60 seconds and see what happens. So,
let's try it.
Yeah, right. Just think about that for a second. As an agency manager, just take that to heart. Think about it, because there's no reason why I would love to come in during AEP into an agency that's thriving and busy. And even if I'm not getting a lot of help in the Medicare space, there's a lot of other spaces we have. And I'd love to drive with somebody who's out writing 7 applications in a day just to visualize that and see what that looks like and feels like. If I'm a new agent, that's going to only motivate me. So I wouldn't be turning off the recruiting or the number one driver ever throughout the entire year unless there's some emergency. And the last thing I want to say to that is, when it comes to bringing on new people, I would say look at character over skill, look at attitude over skill or experience. I can give them the training on the skills, but I'm more concerned with who somebody is rather than what they know.
Yeah, absolutely. I just have to comment. I would love to do a study sometime on how many agents started during AEP and are still with the company. I started during AEP. It was exciting. I made money. I had renewals coming the next year.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure lots of people have shared that experience. So one last question,
Sure.
and then I'll just, if you want to throw anything else out there. I had one RSM say to me, if I was down to my last $5,000 in my budget, I would spend it on recruiting and not leads. Do you agree or disagree?
I would absolutely spend the vast majority on that. It doesn't really matter how many leads you have if you have no one to go out and use them. So I think, let's just formulate it the way the drivers are, right? So we have 7 of them, starting with recruiting, right? Then we have training, right? Then we have prospecting, then we have agent supervision, then we have business processing, all right? Then we have our promotions and incentives, and then we have management development or partners, partnering for success. So I think if it's number one, then that's where the majority of those dollars should be spent, is in the recruiting realm. And again, I'm not just promoting the National Recruiting Center, right? If that's where they want to go, I think it's a fantastic tool and option to use. But I'm just saying, I think everybody should have at least 3 sources that they invest their time and money and energy into when it comes to recruiting. So let's just say it's the National Recruiting Center, it's personal recruiting promotion within their office, and then it's LinkedIn, let's just say. They should have 3, and those 3 should be worked and utilized on a regular basis. And just remember, as a leader, inspect what you expect. When it comes to the recruiting, A, don't turn it off. It's the oxygen. B, know that you're not going to determine the success or failure of an agent in this business. I've watched this industry for almost 38 years. There's a 20-60-20 rule, I like to say. 20% of people are going to be successful to spite you, all right? No matter what you do, they're going to make it, no matter what. And everyone that's probably going to watch this video is one of those 20%. 60% are in the middle. We'll get to them in a second. There's another 20% that are not going to make it, no matter what you do. You know, you could buy them the Mercedes and pay them a salary and the whole 9 yards. This just isn't for them. It's the 60% as a leader that you're going to impact in one direction or the other. You're going to help them up there quicker, all right? Or you're going to help them make a decision that maybe this isn't for them. But understand, you will not make or break them. There's no agent that's really been successful or manager that's really been successful, or there shouldn't be, whoever says, none of it was up to me. It was all done by somebody else. We all have mentors and people who helped us along, but you made it because you made it. So give yourself a pat on the back. If you're successful in this business, it's because of you and maybe some help you had along the way.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that and all of your time today.
Thank you very much. And if anybody wants any help in this driver, have them just reach out. I'm more than happy to invest the time and energy into anybody that really wants to invest it and grow in their agency.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn. It's great spending time with you. Take care.